Most disturbing moments in Hell's Kitchen history pulls viewers into a pressure cooker where dignity, patience, and composure collapse under relentless heat. This faceless video relies entirely on narration, pacing, and atmosphere to expose how quickly confidence turns into chaos. Shouted orders, broken focus, and public humiliation reveal more than failure. They uncover raw human reactions when escape isn't an option. Without faces on screen, the tension feels sharper, forcing attention on the words, silence, and consequences. These moments linger because they're uncomfortable, unpredictable, and painfully real, reminding us that the kitchen tests character as brutally as skill under extreme pressure. What happens when ambition meets unbearable pressure? In most disturbing moments in Hell's Kitchen history, we dive into the unseen side of the competition, where stress doesn't just test cooking skills, it exposes the human mind. In this video, you'll learn how extreme expectations, constant surveillance, and public criticism push contestants beyond their limits, leading to moments many viewers never forget. We'll uncover lesser-known details behind the tension and explain why these breakdowns feel so unsettling, even without faces on screen. Watch till the end to understand how chaos is carefully built pressure, silence, or tension caught quick setup. Before we talk about the explosions of anger or the moments when contestants completely lose control, it's important to understand the environment they're trapped in. Hell's Kitchen is designed as a high-stakes kitchen where every second counts and every mistake is amplified. The competition doesn't pause, the pressure doesn't ease, and there is no safe corner to breathe or reset. From the moment service begins, the clock becomes an enemy, forcing decisions to be made faster than comfort allows. Before we talk about stress as an emotional reaction, we need to recognize how nonstop it truly is. Long hours, lack of sleep, and constant evaluation create a mental fog that never clears. Contestants aren't just cooking. They're performing under scrutiny, knowing that a single misstep can define their entire run. Orders pile up, voices rise, and the kitchen narrows until it feels impossible to move without colliding with failure. Before we talk about escape, we have to admit there isn't one. Walking out isn't an option, slowing down isn't allowed, and silence itself becomes threatening. Even pauses feel dangerous because they invite judgment. Cameras may not show faces in this video, but their presence is always felt, turning every action into a test of resilience. Before we talk about breaking points, it's worth noting how the system feeds on momentum. Stress carries over from one service to the next, unresolved and unacknowledged. Mistakes follow contestants like shadows, and the kitchen becomes a closed loop where pressure, expectation, and fear recycle endlessly, leaving no room to recover, reflect, or breathe. Before we talk about the shouting or the tension-filled confrontations, we need to understand what happens inside a contestant's mind when confidence starts to collapse. In a kitchen like Hell's Kitchen, confidence is fragile, built carefully over practice and preparation, yet it can shatter in seconds. A single burnt dish, a missed timing, or a harsh remark from the chef can make even the most skilled contestants question themselves. That moment when self-assurance fades is subtle at first, a pause too long, a hand trembling, but it quickly grows, spreading like wildfire through every decision they make. Before we talk about the visible chaos, consider focus katutna. Concentration doesn't just slip away, it fractures. Tasks that were once second-nature plating, seasoning, timing suddenly feel impossible. Thoughts scatter, mistakes multiply, and every instruction becomes harder to process. The kitchen's pace doesn't slow to match the contestant's faltering mind, so pressure compounds. Orders pile up, heat rises, and the line between thinking and reacting disappears. Before we talk about the explosive results, it's important to see how this collapse is internal before it becomes external. Contestants may continue moving, chopping, and cooking, but their confidence is leaking, and with it, their ability to stay present. Small errors feel catastrophic, hesitation becomes habitual, and the fear of failure begins to control every choice. Every glance at the clock, every shouted order, every plate that leaves the pass reminds them that their focus is no longer a tool. They are reacting, surviving, barely keeping pace with the relentless rhythm of the kitchen. Before we talk about the chaos that unfolds on the kitchen floor, we need to understand the sheer weight of authority in Hell's Kitchen. The chef's presence isn't just physical, it's psychological. Every word carries judgment, every glance measures competence, and every command is absolute. Shouted orders aren't random, they're instruments of control, designed to test how contestants respond under intense scrutiny. The kitchen becomes a pressure cooker where volume replaces patience and clarity is sacrificed for urgency. Contestants feel the weight of expectation pressing down with every instruction, making even simple tasks seem monumental. Before we talk about the humiliation, it's important to recognize its subtle power. Public criticism in front of peers magnifies mistakes, turning minor errors into moments of personal exposure. Contestants are often made examples of, their confidence eroded not just by failure, but by the awareness that every eye is watching, every whisper of disapproval is felt. Humiliation becomes a tool for authority, amplifying tension and breaking down composure faster than any mistake could on its own. Before we talk about the visible explosions, consider how authority shapes movement and thought. The kitchen isn't just a space to cook, it's a stage where obedience is demanded and reactions are measured. Contestants respond to shouted orders even before fully processing them, prioritizing speed over precision. Every step, every choice is shadowed by fear of disapproval. The weight of authority presses constantly, reshaping behavior and magnifying stress until the line between pressure and panic is indistinguishable. Before we talk about the ultimate breaking points, the combination of shouted orders, public humiliation, and relentless authority creates an environment where the human psyche is stretched to its limits, revealing vulnerabilities that would otherwise remain hidden under calm circumstances. Before we talk about the shouting or the tension in the kitchen, we need to see what happens when mistakes start to pile up. In Hell's Kitchen, even small errors feel enormous. A mistimed dish, a burnt sauce, or a dropped plate isn't just a slip, it's a spark that ignites panic. Contestants feel their control slipping, and that panic spreads quickly, clouding judgment and making subsequent decisions even more prone to error. Before we talk about the visible chaos, consider how emotional reactions intensify under pressure. Frustration, fear, and embarrassment surface almost immediately, often in unexpected ways. Hands shake, voices rise, and expressions tighten, revealing inner turmoil that words alone can't convey. Panic feeds itself, turning a single mistake into a cascade of stress that impacts the entire line. Before we talk about the consequences, it's clear that mistakes in this environment aren't just technical, they're psychological triggers. Each error reinforces doubt, heightens anxiety, and accelerates emotional reactions, creating a feedback loop that is hard to escape. The kitchen becomes a stage where human vulnerability is exposed, and the combination of mistakes, panic, and raw emotion transforms the competition into a test of endurance, not just skill. Before we talk about the dramatic moments that make viewers gasp, it's important to understand that what we're seeing is raw human behavior without filters. In the heat of Hell's Kitchen, contestants aren't acting or performing, they're reacting. Stress strips away social masks, politeness, and carefully rehearsed composure, leaving pure emotion and instinct. Every shout, every sigh, every tremor in the hands or voice reveals a side of human nature rarely seen outside extreme pressure. Before we talk about the more obvious breakdowns, notice how subtle gestures carry meaning. A glance of frustration, a sharp inhale, or a pause mid-task tells stories of fear, doubt, and tension more than words ever could. The kitchen becomes a mirror, reflecting insecurities and strengths alike, amplified by the relentless pace and authority hovering over every action. Before we talk about the unforgettable moments, it's clear that raw human behavior in this environment is both fascinating and uncomfortable. There is no filter, no escape, and no way to hide inner turmoil. Every reaction is magnified, revealing how stress can strip someone down to instinct, ego, and survival, creating moments that stay with the audience long after the service ends. Before we talk about visuals or dramatic camera angles, we need to understand how a faceless video relies entirely on narration, sound, and pacing to convey tension. Without faces on screen, every word spoken, every tone of voice, and every pause carries weight. The narration guides the audience through chaos, revealing details, emotions, and context that might otherwise be lost in the noise of the kitchen. Before we talk about creating suspense, consider the power of sound. The clatter of pots, the hiss of flames, and the urgent rhythm of orders all become storytelling tools. Each auditory cue emphasizes pressure, signals mistakes, and heightens anticipation. Even silence is strategic. It allows viewers to feel the weight of stress and focus on internal reactions rather than external visuals. Before we talk about maintaining viewer engagement, pacing becomes essential. Narration slows at critical moments to let tension build, then accelerates to mimic the frantic energy of a high-stakes service. This ebb and flow mirrors the contestants' experience, pulling the audience into their world without showing a single face. By focusing fully on narration, sound, and pacing, the story comes alive, letting viewers feel the pressure, chaos, and raw emotion of the kitchen as if they were standing on the line themselves. Before we wrap up, remember that most disturbing moments in Hell's Kitchen history isn't just about mistakes or shouting, it's about pressure, raw emotion, and human behavior under extreme stress. From collapsing confidence to panic, from authorities' weight to the relentless rhythm of the kitchen. These moments stay with you long after the service ends. If you felt the tension, if the chaos lingered in your mind even as the video played, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Every new story brings you closer to the intense, unforgettable world of high-stakes kitchens tension. Jo Dimig main re J screen ban Hane Kebad B.